It is a deeply grey and miserable morning. Well, it's February, isn't it? It's supposed to be. But I've had man flu for the last 2 or 3 days, and I feel like my chest cavity aches from coughing too much, and I've got a sore nose from blowing it too much, and I really don't feel like climbing underneath this super snipe, which I'm halfway through doing an engine change on. But there's a thing about it that I noticed that made me smile. So I thought it was worth a little video, maybe. It's got a well-serviced tax disc in it. I don't know if it's a replica, it almost certainly is. It's got to be, really. But, tax discs. Now, there's a thing that I regularly get asked when I'm out and about in my motors, sometimes at shows and sometimes when I'm just out and about. But people say, why has your car got a Guinness label in the windscreen? And a lot of my cars have a Guinness label in the windscreen, and there is a reason for it. And I can explain that, but it'll take a minute. When I was a youngster, I read a book called Reach for the Sky, and it was the life story of Douglas Bader. Now, he's a bit Marmite, you either love him or hate him. But I still have a copy of the book, and it talks about an Austin 7 with a Guinness label as a tax disc, and it was something that sort of stuck with me, and I asked grown-ups at the time when I was about 12 what this meant, and it turned out that old-fashioned tax discs didn't really look like modern ones, and a Guinness label from the other side of the road would look like a pre-war tax disc. And tax disc was such a big part of motoring, when you could sell the tax disc with the car in the way that you can't sell road tax now with a car. It sort of goes back to DVLA and you've got to start over again. But it's also, you know, having a tax disc in a vintage car, it makes it look right to me, because for most of my life, cars needed a tax disc in this country to be legal on the road. And also they're a big part of a car's history, and this old girl that sits in the shed outside my place that I haven't actually really started doing anything with, I know in this glove box there are some tax discs from way back in the day, and I think there's even a tax in post. Yeah, there we go, back in the 80s. So it's a sort of thing that youngsters have forgotten about, but it's a thing that matters to me. That an old car has a tax disc, or at the very least a Guinness label, so it looks as though somebody's trying to get away without taxing it. So most of this is apropos, not very much at all, but these 2 tax discs are for JLY, which is the WOA that we're rebuilding, that did the round the world tour in the late 40s. And I'm very much hoping, because these actually count as official documents, they might help me keep the number plate. DVLA inclined to be a little awkward about reissuing number plates unless you can really prove with official documents that that's where that number belongs. So I'm kind of hoping that these might help a bit. Still a grey day outside. Bugsy's deeply bored, so perhaps I'd better take him for a walk. Anyway, thank you for watching, and do please subscribe if you haven't already.